It's time for the business news now. Happy Friday, Giles.
Happy Friday, Lisa.
You have somewhat poetically indicated that you wish to speak about the latest straw in the wind of economic recovery. In light of us all...
It's an Elton John line, I have to admit, yeah, or something like that. It seems appropriate, given that we are in spring looking at summer, that we should be looking for the green shoots of growth and recovery. And we've had another one of them today, and that comes from the ANZ Bank, who seems to have almost a monopoly on putting out these sorts of indicators. It's their trucking indicator, the truckometer as they rather horrendously call it. Their heavy traffic indicator, which gives you a real-time snapshot of economic activity and how it's faring. It's up 4% last month on the month before. The light traffic index, which looks 6 to 12 months ahead, so that gives you a future view on potential activity, is up by around 12%. The important thing is that both of these indices are back to where they were before the pandemic hit, so it's almost their best levels in a year. And that tallies with the business confidence survey that came out yesterday, which ANZ, also the author of that, called remarkable because of firms' own activity confidence was actually back in the black. It was positive, although headline sentiment was negative. So these green shoots of recovery give hope perhaps that there will be a better than expected rebound in the economy from the pandemic. We've yet to see whether it's actually going to hold up with Christmas spending, holiday spending. It may be that people are just being a little bit gun shy and will be cautious on that one. But to all intents and purposes, you have to say that it looks reasonably positive from here, and that gives us some cause for optimism going into 2021.
What about the local markets, Giles? There's a new, lifetime high, you say. What's driving that?
Well, it's all the elements that we've been talking about in recent months. Essentially, it's low interest rates. It's a ton of money sloshing around financial markets, being printed by the central banks around the world. Our own Reserve Bank, of course, is in there with its bond buying program. And what it's doing is that it's money looking for a good return on the investment. You're not going to get that by leaving it in the bank, so people are putting it into shares. And that's what's fueling the market here. Also markets around the world. Interestingly, I was at a Reserve Bank briefing yesterday where they were giving us some details about perhaps some of the other tools they will use to help stimulate the economy. And the comment was made, well, aren't you a bit worried about just throwing more fuel on the fire of, for instance, the housing market? And the view was, actually, the worst thing that could happen to us, the first thing they said was, A, we're surprised about how strong it has been, and B, actually, we're not worried about house price rises, we'd be more worried about house price falls. And it would be the same with the share market. Not worried about an appreciating share market, but one that actually took a bit of a sudden dip because, of course, it destroys wealth. It makes people pull their heads in and they don't spend. You don't have that wealth effect being created. So from that point of view, people... if you're in a KiwiSaver scheme, of course, you're doing quite well. I can tell you that the share market up 45 points today, about 1/3% at 12,281. I don't like to be a Jeremiah, but there will be a clean out, I suspect, between now and the end of the year. It's the nature of financial markets. And just to round out that market recap, on the currency front, Kiwi dollar at 66 US cents, 92 Australian, and just touching 51 British pence.
Hey, Giles, before you head off, have you got your ticket for the Bledisloe Cup game? Wrong shaped ball, isn't it, for you?
Can I say that it's a minority sport for me, and I'll leave it for those who will enjoy it more.
Thanks, Giles. Have a good weekend. Giles Beckford with our business wrap there.